it's Miss Eliza, Children's Librarian at the Waukee Public Library, and I'm here with today's elementary kids maker project, which is going to be dissecting owl pellets. This month's theme is birds, and so we're looking at this particular thing that comes from a bird. So what you're going to need for this project is an owl pellet, and if you got a pack from the library, then you'll already have one of these in there. And you can also get them pretty easily online. They're really inexpensive, and most of them come from raptor centers where they rehabilitate birds. And then you're also going to need a few tools to use in your exploration of the pellet. So we have a pipette and some water because you do need to get this a little bit wet. And then things like a small paintbrush, a craft stick, or a toothpick will help you break apart your owl pellet. And then a really important thing is you're going to need a pair of gloves for this project. Pellets are not poop. They are made up of the fur and bones that are not able to be digested by a bird, but still, it's a really good idea to keep yourself safe with a pair of gloves for this project. All right, guys, so when you get your owl pellet, it's going to be wrapped up in foil. And so I can show you what it looks like when you first unwrap it. And you'll notice that it's just exactly like what it sounds. It's like a pellet. That's exactly what it looks like, kind of like a little rock. And it's going to be pretty dry. Remember that this has come out of an owl and quite a while ago. So it's mostly made up of fur and bone, but it does need to be loosened up a little bit before we can see what's inside. So that's where you're going to want this pipette and some water. So you're just going to want to dab some water on, and it might need to sit for a little bit so that it's kind of pliable. We're just kind of rehydrating it so that we can get inside without breaking it open. And once it's a little bit damp and has soaked in, you're just going to carefully use your fingers to open it up. And then that's going to give you a better surface to work from. So I've already started this pellet here. And you're just going to want to use the tools that you have, just simple things, to break it up. So you can see right away we've got a bone here. So if I wanted to expose that, I'm just going to use the stick and the toothpick to carefully pry away what's on the outside. And you do need to be very gentle because these are just little rodents' bones, so they're pretty thin and very tiny. So you want to move very carefully. And if it's hard, you can always add a little bit more water in there to give you a little bit better surface to work from. And as you break a bone apart, you can kind of put it off to the side and really clean it off. You can get all of that remaining fur off of there, and then you'll really be able to see the shape of the skeleton. All right. So now that I've got this piece out, you can kind of look at both sides, make sure it's cleared off. You can get your brush in there to get some of the extra dirt away. And then once it's pretty cleared off, you'll be able to examine it. So you can see here we've got, it looks like a big, long, sharp piece. And then down in here, we've got maybe a few little things that almost look like teeth fragments. So this might be a side of a skull. So we have a second plate, and I would encourage you to put all of the bones that you find on a second paper plate. And then once you've gone through your whole pellet, you can use that against the skeleton, that template that we've given you, to kind of see and identify which bones are which. So we'll put that aside for now and come back to our pellet here and see what else we can find. So I'm noticing right away that there's a big piece right here. And I'm noticing it looks like it might have a few teeth, and teeth are attached to the skull of an animal. So that would be an exciting find. And again, we just want to carefully remove some of the stuff on the outside because there may be other smaller bones that are still inside. So we'll peel away some of those layers. All right, so check that out, guys. I think we do have a skull. So here's the little teeth of the critter. And right about here, these empty spaces that we cleared out, that's where the eyes would have been. And you'll notice that we don't have the back of the skull here. So I wonder why that is. You might want to think about that as you think about how raptors are with their prey. So we'll put the skull aside, and then you can have this whole pellet to explore, and hopefully we'll find some other smaller bones in here, and then once we're done, we'll be able to compare them to the template and see what we found. All right, so I hope that you had fun exploring your owl pellet. This is a sheet with all of the possible bones of a rodent that you might have found. So once you break apart all the bones and you clear them off and you have them on your paper plate, you can match them up to this template and see what you found. It's important to remember that owls might have eaten more than one animal in the time of this pellet, so there might be multiples of some things, or you might be missing some entirely. So it's kind of fun to match it up against the template and see what you got. Thanks for exploring with us, and remember to wash your hands when you're finished with this project.